is every day you're interacting with a Nike band that is on your wrist. You're looking at how many steps you've taken. It syncs with your iPhone. You upload it. You can look at what your activity for the year has been. You can benchmark it against everybody else around the world, your social network in particular. And all this is actually leading to the continuous brand building, continuous building of loyalty. And all this is not just transactions, as you can see. A lot of this is interactions. So that's just my quick perspective, and how do you think about this topic? With this, I will hand over to the rest of the panelists. I'm going to start with Suhail from Hasbro and really ask you a question saying, does a retailer today have a choice of even deciding whether they want to go multi-channel or not?
I don't think that the retailer has a choice anymore. I think that the retailer has to be where the consumer is. So if the consumer is on a mobile phone, he's on a tablet, he's shopping on a digital wall, he's shopping in your store, he's shopping at home. At the end of the day, all the businesses that we run are chasing consumers, right? And there are some kind of consumers who come to you. There are some consumers who need to be, who want you to come to them. I don't think it's a choice for any business anymore, where you can say that I do only offline retail, or I do only online retail, or I do only m-commerce. A good example would be, say, 20 years back, when credit cards were just coming to India, we had a choice, a lot of retailers had a choice of not taking an EDC machine. But today, when you go back, when you think about it, all those retailers who didn't take EDC machines, do you think they made a mistake? So I don't think you have a choice anymore. I think you need to explore every nook, every crevice that will give you access to a consumer. Long and short of it.
Thank you. Moving on to Ganesh from Myntra. Ganesh, you're in the online business. A lot of what we think is the future is the online business driven by technology. Can you throw some light on, what do you think the future of this business looks like, and how do you leverage technology?
Sure. What I'll do is, I'll take it in 2-3 parts. In the first part, I'll give you a sense of what is the opportunity, whatever we call online, right? Now, many people have asked us about, in 2000, there was a dot-com boom, but it went burst. Now, right now, a lot of people are talking about online as a channel. Is this the same? Should we wait and watch, or should we do it now? I just want to give you a quick handle on, what happened in 2000 was, a lot of people came back from US. At that time, it was booming. And they said, let's start the same thing in the country. At that time, customer was not ready. Indian customers were not online. Now, the difference between 2000 and now is, we have 135 million internet users in the country, which is roughly around 12-13% of our population, and that's growing by the day. And out of this, 25 million customers are ready to shop, and they're shopping as we talk right now. For customer is ready, they are online. For it's a question of supply game. For if we get our products to the customer in the right way, there is an opportunity. For hence, there is a huge opportunity from an online perspective. For some of the questions you might have is, should I not do some questions we talked about. For what I would say is, keep watching your customer. If, for example, if you are in a space where your customer is anywhere between 18 to 26, I can tell you, before even you, reach home today, I think really seriously need to think about this. 80% of the customers today online are in this age group, anywhere between 18 to 26. That doesn't mean the age group beyond that is not there, but that's progressing. And these youngsters today who are shopping, and the parents are watching, and soon you will see that age group getting online. That's about the market opportunity. Now, how do I get online? Now, there are various opportunities. One, let's say if you are a retailer, you could go to a marketplace and list yourselves in that particular site. For you have ready-made set of customers coming to your shop. If you are a brand, you can go and list yourself as a brand with many of the online retailers. Now, what is fundamentally important, it's not about, and should I also start my own site? You could look at doing that also. Now, if you think that opening a site, putting your products gets you immediate business, let me tell you, like any other business, it's not going to be easy. Particularly online, customers can switch your shop in no time. It's actually a click away. Now, it's important for you to understand, what is required to run an online business. One is to have a right set of people who understand. It's all about technology. It's all about analytics. It's all about understanding the digital behavior of customers. But fundamentally, I would say is that once you got that right, it's important that your content is king in internet. Content is the product. If you are selling product, if you're selling service, it's very important that you have a great product. If you have a great product, there are a huge set of customers. We have built lots of brands which are unknown, which are one of our top 10 brands in the portfolio. Therefore, you don't need to be a very well-known brand. I can tell you, unknown labels and brands are actually fighting head and shoulder with well-known brands. For there is a huge opportunity. There is lots of hidden product portfolios in the country which can get exposed. The last but not the least is an opportunity which this channel provides you is the distribution. Look at the number of towns any other channel can cater to. We have over 450 towns today. An online retailer is catering to, online retailer like Myntra is catering to 450 towns, over 10,000 pin codes. Imagine it will be physically not possible that for somebody to economically run a business of this kind of an access. So if you really have a great, so that's why I keep on telling my colleagues, a Chandni Chowk can be visible to the whole country. This is the only channel which can make that possible, right? But fundamentally understand your customer, get the right skill sets for this channel, and it's a time that somebody who's thinking of getting into this channel, it's very ripe.
Thanks, Ganesh. Moving on from Ganesh to Kamaravel Naturals. Kamaravel, you've actually grown using multi-channels as a completely different interpretation, and you've made franchising work in our country. Can you throw us a little bit of light on how you've made that happen and what's worked for you?
Thanks, Vikas. Good evening, friends. Beauty is fleeting, but the business of beauty is not. As long as your hair grows, our business grows. So that's the business we are in. It's a 30,000 crore industry, growing at 25%. Organized industry is around 10,000 crores, growing at 40%. There are around 2 lakh people employed in this industry. Not 10 lakh people, 2 lakh beauty parlors. These are some of the statistics I know today, but way back in 2000, when me and my wife started, we started to get her engaged and make 60,000 rupees a month. That is the objective with which we started. But we used franchising to grow. Today we are at 262 salons. And franchising, people think, is using other people's time and money. And that's the half the equation. The other half of the equation is franchising is using other people's time and money responsibly. If you put that responsibly word together, the formula gains power. And if you know a business, we are in Chennai, we can't go and start a salon in Madurai. And our franchise partner understands the model. He takes the salon there. He follows whatever we are putting and he makes the business proposition. That's what franchising is, simply duplication at a different location where you need a franchise partner at a local end, where you need a franchisor who has a brand name and who has a business knowledge. These two put together, if you handle it well, the business really explodes. That's what we have seen it here. Vikas, when he comes here, you may think Naturals is an ice cream because you are from Bombay. In Chennai, Naturals is a salon.
Great. I did think about that first. Okay, let's move on. Sunil from Nuts and Spices. You've created a great brand out of a product and commodity that is traditionally has not been branded, and now you've gone into a multi-channel presence to leverage that brand. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
We have been I think one of the late entrant into this industry. But we have been getting a lot of feedback from the customers, and it was because for the customers we have gone. Basically, we have gone only to serve our customers. We have seen a lot of our customers who has been there in Chennai for quite a long time and then moved to different part of the countries. And they started asking for the product there, or probably asking for a franchisee stores there and all that. Then we thought, why not start this online store, so that at least we can fulfill the customer satisfaction there. So on that basis, we started about almost less than a year now. And we have seen, in fact, from Chennai, a customer from Velachery, she is hardly about staying in about 5 to 7 minutes drive from our store. And she has bought almost about 15 times today, last in about 6 months' time. So I think even the local customers have started switching over to this mode of the purchase. So I think the market is going to stay there, definitely.
Thank you, Sunil. Moving back to the classic brick and mortar world, Subramaniam, if you can tell us, at RMKV, how do you deliver a consistent customer experience, and how do you think that works for you to grow your side of the business?
Sure. Good evening, friends. I think to borrow from the thought that Ganesh and Sohail had shared, I would say the key in multi-channel is that I think we start with very three fundamentals that we're looking at. It's almost a need of the hour. It's almost like for survival, we need multi-channel kind of approaches. Secondly, we're looking at multi-channel giving opportunities to engage the customer on a constant basis. So it increases loyalty if that experience or that particular single thing that the customer is looking for is delivered consistently. And thirdly, obviously, if you look at from the monetary aspect of it, it leads to increased profitability. So if you were to look at these three fundamentals, they also bring in some challenges along with it. The challenge is that I think all of us would say, if it's for survival, then I have to do it. But what about delivering that consistent experience or USP that a brand is dishing out? So every